welcome back to the Rings of Power. Despite my criticisms of the show, I am very excited for this. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I still say this intro is boring, I'm sorry. What you doing there? Are these seeds going to be some part of said evil plan? I have not been a fan of trees in my fiction stuff as of late. Anyone who saw my Raised by Wolves reactions will know exactly what I mean. I still stand firm. The visuals on this show, like just the huge crowd, everything lit by torches right there, that looks great. Regretting your decision a little bit? Probably not. Now, how is this gonna play out? Can't imagine all our heroes just die. Like, what would have been the point then? But again, I feel like they're destined for failure. These lands are supposed to be Mordor. Gates wide open. Methinks they just left. I thought there was only one way in and out, though. How would they have left without them seeing? What's the plan here? What are you gonna do?
What happened to Sauron?
Yes, what did happen to Sauron? Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh! Not a bad plan. Oh, nice. Seal him inside. Crash the tower on him. Well done. Ooh. I think he's dead. Oh shit. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. I am still a little confused as to how they all got out of there without them seeing. I thought that path up there was the only way. But a decent plan. Decent plan. No, don't eat it after... Oh. I like horses too, but I don't think I want to be sharing food with them.
It'll be visible to your eyes in a few moments.
Is it visible to yours already?
Yes, elfin eyes. Very keen.
Keen are the eyes of the elves.
Yes, they are.
Yet, despise not the labor which humbles the heart.
Oh,
Humility has saved entire kingdoms, the proud have all but led to ruin.
very true.
I was just trying to get away. As far as I could from that place.
Numenor,
Never said that out loud. Interesting.
you have the look of your father.
Sort of.
I was always told I looked more like my mother.
Never knew anything about his mother in the books. Or at least not that I can remember.
It feels like the coming of night.
Kind of ominous. I feel like they're, once again, doing a pretty good job of making Galadriel more likable, which I am appreciative of. I like that little conversation you just had with Isildur. Trying to destroy it. I'm sure it's just like the One Ring. Can't be destroyed. Only in the place it was created, which we have actually no idea where this was created.
Our position gives us an advantage.
Does it?
But to use
You're in
it,
kind of like a valley. I feel like
draw the enemy in close.
it's not the best advantage.
Light it.
Alright.
All who cannot fight will be barricaded inside.
I do always like the, you know, the big build-up to a fight, the montage of everybody getting ready.
Forever beyond its reach. Find the light. And the shadow will not find you.
Oh, that was actually kind of beautiful. I like that. Perhaps a bit corny, but in all the right ways, I think.
Farewell, mother.
Why am I getting the sense that someone's gonna die here? Like one of these two.
It is a tradition among elves. Before the battle begins, plant one.
Oh, so that's what Adar was
New
doing.
life,
Still
in defiance of death.
living some of his elven traditions, I suppose. Is that the first time they've kissed on screen? I think it is. Kind of just been waiting for it to happen though, so. I love this. This quiet. This ominous waiting. I really like this music here too. Properly creepy intense. Alright, just gotta wait until they're all over the bridge and hope they don't come directly towards you before they're all over the bridge. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, damn it. Thought he was gonna drop it in there. Oh! Sucks to be a red shirt, doesn't it? Nice. She's pretty badass. Like, she's... In the 2 fights that I've seen her in, she has won them both. Okay, so that blocks their way out.
The bleeding fools missed us!
I don't think that was the goal, man. Fish in a barrel. Take him out. Well, shit. Use those spears to good effect. Keeps him distance. Stab him in the heart or the throat and move on. Ow. I really like that was all in like one shot right there. That was cool. Get out of my face. Oh, that's a big boy. Oh! Oh, that was so cool. Yes, I actually really like this choreography, the very elven maneuvers. That looked like that hurt. Oh. Come on. Oh. I also appreciate the fact that we are seeing a lot of different people dying. You know, some people winning, some people dying. It's not just an uneven fight. Nice. He's still alive? Come on. This guy just will not die. Can we get some assistance over here? Ugh, that is nasty, dude. Ugh, oh, no, 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 please don't, please don't. Thank you, whoever that was. Nice. So we won it? Seemed a bit too easy. But I mean, I'll take it. Nah, there's no way they won that. I mean, they didn't even see Adar. They all left to go, you know, serve them. Shouldn't be too much of a surprise for you all. Maybe everyone take cover, get inside. What did I say? Oh. Take cover, get inside, take cover, and get inside. Ooh. Oh, shit. That's a nice little detail, actually, that it, like, sliced him before it struck the lady behind him. I'm also appreciative of the fact that it was not that easy. In fact, they all got played pretty hard right there. Close the door, man. Now's not the time to be looking. On the plus side, you got shot in a good way. You can always just break off the end and then pull the arrow out. It's not going to tear you up too badly. Well, he's already dead, so we're going to help you. Yeah, this is really going to hurt. I'm sorry. Come on, man. Just one strong pull. Oh, there you go.
Put pressure on the wound.
Ooh, that is bleeding a lot. Yeah, we need to stop that bleeding right now. This is a lot less PG than some of the previous Rings of Power. Shut the window. Ah, I said shut the window. He didn't have to jump scare me for no reason.
Bring me some burning wood. Hurry!
I mean, yeah, that'll do it, but... she did lose a lot of blood. It's not uncommon for someone to pass out from either that or the pain. I knew it. Good try, but no. Oh, nice. I actually like that we get to see them on their way, as opposed to them just showing up, you know, to save the day. It's a little less Deus Ex Machina-ish. What he does, do not give him the hilt. Just don't give him the hilt. Aye. Kudos to them for killing the men and women equally, but Jesus.
It's under here.
You motherfucker. You, sir, is a little idiot. Oh. Is that the sound of the Numenorians I hear? Oh, damn. That's a really good tactic. Excuse me? And elven agility is something else. Jesus.
Let's go.
She's like, I can see you really want to go down there, so go for it. Oh, nice. Come on. No way you let this guy get away. No way. Does Nahum mean, like, faster in Elven or something? Because I remember when Odwin said that to her horse in the first Lord of the Rings movie. Oof. I'm glad the horse is okay. So how do these two know each other? What's the story?
I need him alive.
I actually do have some questions for him.
Child.
Eat your tongue.
Is that what happened? Did he kill your son, your daughter, your sons and daughters?
One cannot satisfy thirst by drinking seawater.
I've been liking Galadriel in this episode a lot more. I feel like she's using a bit more of a level head. She's been pretty kind to, you know, our protagonists.
You prefer Uruk?
Even Morion.
I don't really give a shit what you prefer.
Master. And I seek yours.
So Galadriel was right in that she did follow Sauron's tracks all the way to this place.
Dark knowledge. I split him open. I killed Sauron.
I do not believe you.
You certainly did not. Maybe you thought you did, though.
So that one day, before I drive my dagger into your poisoned heart, I will whisper in your piked ear that all your offspring are dead, and the scourge of your kind ends with you.
Damn. It's kind of dark. I support it, but that's kind of dark. I don't know. I feel like I got the answers I wanted out of him. Let's kill him. Not give him a chance to be a problem later on. Ow.
You're pulling me back.
Unless you pulled me back first.
Again, I got the answers I wanted. I think you should have killed him right there. I'm getting nervous. This feels like such a nice, happy ending to the whole thing.
Are you the king we were promised?
Sure, I guess.
Yes.
Alright. I still feel like he was kind of forced to do it, but it appears he has made his choice now.
King of the Southlands.
I don't think I would have given that to the kid, though. He just said he's, you know, feeling super addicted to the thing. Now, please don't do anything stupid, please, man. Oh, shit. Oh, come on, man. That sucks. What is this happening? It's gonna flood the lands? A little confused as to what's going on there. Oh, shit. So they built the tunnels and trenches for this torrent of water. Oh, that's supposed to be Mount Doom. I've studied volcanoes quite a bit, and I am pretty darn sure that is not how that works. Like, you can't just dump a bunch of water on some magma and cause a massive cataclysmic explosion and build up of pressure in a volcano. Perhaps you could just chalk it up to magic. Oh shit. Yeah, I would say it's time to go. Well, things certainly went south very quickly here. Oh shit. Yeah, you're all going to die if you don't, like, get underground or something right now. How on earth is the show supposed to continue from that point? What the hell? It certainly got me interested in whatever's coming up next week, but, like, how did anyone survive that? Well, that very well might have been my favorite Rings of Power episode. I'm still extremely confused on that ending. One, from a logic standpoint of, again, you can't just dump a bunch of water on some magma and cause a massive explosion like that. Or at least I don't think so. If someone in the science community can figure that out, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. And just the logistics of that don't make a lot of sense to me. Like, the sword, the key is to just flood the dam. So to enact the whole plan, you also need to have had dug out all these trenches and things to lead to Mount Doom to set it off. I don't know. It just seems like a really hyper complicated plan. I think it would have just been better if it was just magic. Like, you put the sword into the stone and you just see this corruptive dark magic like work its way through the earth to Mount Doom, and then it sets it off. That would have alleviated my issues with that whole situation. But as I said, them ending it with this huge pyroclastic flow, like barreling down onto the main characters, Galadriel getting consumed by it. How does the story continue from that point? Like, we all know for a fact that Galadriel, you know, survives all this. Can't really say the same about the other characters except for, like, Isildur and his dad. But how do they survive that? How? And I have to admit, it's kind of cool that Mordor has now officially been formed, because, I mean, I'm interested to see this show's take on the lands of Mordor and how that all plays out. What's going on with Sauron? Adar seems to think that he's killed him, or is just saying that, you know, I guess we'll see. And again, I know in the story of Tolkien, Sauron, I believe, is captured when the Númenóreans like go over to Middle-earth and to do this whole fight. But when they bring him back, he, you know, through very cleverly speaking his way through things and being quite charming, you know, becomes like the assistant to the king and is the whole reason that Númenor is flooded and all this kind of stuff. But Sauron is completely absent from the story so far. Are they going to replace everything he did with Adar? Like, Adar is going to be the one who gets captured, taken back to Númenor, and, you know, worms his way in to be at the side of the king. With the king already on his deathbed, it seems like they've passed the point of doing that story, but I don't know, maybe. We'll see. I really enjoyed the, you know, the battle between the Southland people against Adar's army. I thought it was very clever for them to collapse the tower on them. Clearly it did not take out as many of his men as I thought it did. And I also like the actual battle itself in the village because, again, it's fairly even. You do see plenty of humans dying versus orcs dying. And when they think they've won the whole thing, turns out absolutely not, and they lost even more people, and one of our main characters very nearly died. And on top of that, they didn't just have the Númenóreans show up, you know, at a surprise moment and, oh, I had no idea they were even coming. I mean, obviously they've been saying that they're on their way for like 2 or 3 episodes now, or at the very least it's been heavily implied that they are. But I like that they at least gave us that one shot of them all riding on horseback towards the town after all had been lost. It made it reasonable that they showed up to save the day. And I gotta say, aside from Theo being a dumbass little child, almost every character was very likable this time around. Even Adar, to a point. I was like, I'm digging this. I am enjoying listening to you all converse and treat each other the way that you do. Galadriel was a huge improvement in my opinion. I thought she was much more enjoyable to be around. But let's jump into the technicals. Writing of the episode. There were still some gripes I had. Some scenes that just still went on a little too long. I think Halbrand and Galadriel's moment of, you know, saying, oh, you pulled me back. Oh, you pulled me back first. It was nice. but it lasted a little too long. And a little bit of the scene with Galadriel and Adar, that big long conversation, could have been trimmed down just a tidbit, I think. But there was decent subtleties to the writing that I really appreciated here. Like Adar planting all the seeds. At first you have no idea really why, unless you're super savvy on book lore and you know that elves do that. Unless it's something they invented for the show, which is entirely possible. But yeah, you see him planting the seeds, you go, why is he doing that? And then Arondir, you know, explains to Bronwyn how it's this elven tradition. You plant a seed before the battle, and then you plant the rest after. Which not only explains a little bit about Adar as a character, but a little bit more about the elves. And it's good, you know, prep work for later when they use the seeds to cauterize her wounds and save her life. That all right there, I'm like, that's good writing, man. That's actually pretty damn decent. I still say, logically, it does not make sense, the whole flood the dam to explode Mount Doom. That it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it would be vastly improved if it was just simply dark magic that does it, as opposed to this really complicated sequence of events. But as I already said, the characters felt more likable, more intuitive to the people around them, which I vastly preferred to some of the stuff we've gotten before. And even though twice in the episode they made you think, oh, all is one, you know, we get ourselves a happy ending, the heroes win, they duped you twice, and I think that was also rather clever. Once they do it the first time, you're like, ah, shame on me for thinking that, you know, it would be so easy to win the fight. But the second time when Mount Doom erupts and, you know, they've been tricked, the hilt has been taken, that was rather good. That, because they've already done it once, you're not exactly expecting it a second time, and they properly duped me. I was fooled. Even though I think there was a marked improvement on the writing in this episode, I do still think they have a bit of an issue with pacing. And they have a tendency to either elaborate on things that aren't really important, or not elaborating on things that I think would do the audience good to know now, as opposed to later. So I'm going to do a 6 out of 10. Editing in this episode, I also thought was a bit better than before. There were some very nicely done edits during the fight sequences, particularly the uses of the one-shot, which is, you know, combined effort of cinematography and editing. Obviously, it wasn't entirely a one-take, but again, I think the editor properly chose the moments to cut away. Both showcase the really well-done choreography that the actors have done here, but also, you know, cut around, make things interesting. Don't let the shot just become stale. But they still have the problem of, during the slower dialogue sequences that are, you know, already written to be tonally very slow, by not spicing anything up with the editing at all. It's, again, just very, very slow edits for those scenes. So it still needs to improve a bit there. I'll do a 7 out of 10. Cinematography, you know, as always on this show, I think it's really, really good. The lighting and the framing of so many of the shots are just breathtaking. And again, the uses of those one-shots during the battle, excellent use of the camera work there. Excellent. I think the Dutch angles when interrogating Adar were a little heavy-handed. I mean, it's such a, I don't know, kind of a film school way of saying, like, ooh, something's wrong, something's weird. There's nothing wrong with it. I think there are plenty of shows and movies that utilize Dutch angles in perfect ways. It's just the way that the entire scene is placed at that kind of angle, it just felt a little forced, in my opinion. Wasn't the strongest choice they could have gone with. But so much of it was really, really good, including the extreme close-ups that they would use throughout this, which sometimes can really put me off, but I think they used them effectively here. So I'll do a 9 out of 10. Acting-wise, I think everyone, again, was doing a very good job. Some people, I think, were a bit theatrical. I think Adar, at times, didn't feel very real. Felt, you know, like the sinister villain. While also playing, you know, the genuine caregiving role that he has for his, you know, quote-unquote children. Even then, he still, at times, just feels kind of like, you know, the raspy, whispery villain. And I think the actor playing Theo is certainly trying. He's doing a pretty good job, but there are times that it's just not the greatest. I'll do a 7 out of 10. Oh, I just realized we never saw any of the hobbits in this episode. Shame. Costumes and makeup were very, very good. The orcs looked awesome. I love that they used practical effects and makeup for them. I think there was some CGI help for like some of them, maybe just like the way their mouths would move or something. They did a great job with the practical effects and looks of the orc. The costumes of everybody else have already been seen at this point, but I still think they look great. You know, the armor of the Númenóreans looks fantastic. The, you know, peasants of this village look thoroughly peasant-like. And I also thought the sort of special effects makeup they did for her bleeding, I think quite a bit of that was CGI enhanced. But what was physically there, I think, looked really good. So I'll do another 9 out of 10. Set design was very good. I don't think there's any new sets that we saw in this episode. Everything is somewhere we've been before. So I can't really talk up, you know, any new locations or anything, but what was there before was already quite good. I like the look of the village and I suppose how authentic everything looks. I appreciate the very large bits of set that they did build for the tower. Didn't get to see too much of it, but they utilized it in a really fun way. I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see how we've now seen the Southlands as this, you know, gorgeous green countryscape. But now the lands will have been transformed into Mordor. You know, how will that look in comparison? I'm actually kind of hoping to see, you know, quote unquote landmarks that we've already seen now, you know, transformed into this dark, twisted version of that. And I really have nothing bad to say about the sets, so 10 out of 10. Visual effects were, as always on this show, incredible. I mean, the look of Mount Doom, you know, erupting, the huge pyroclastic flow coming down the mountain. You can see lightning in the ash cloud and all the trees incinerating as it passes through. It looked very, very good. And the rushing river looked really good as well. I can't tell if they practically filmed any actual water like they did for the original Lord of the Rings movies, but it looked really, really good. And again, I think there was a lot of stuff that had, you know, tons of visual effects assistance. Like, I think Bronwyn's arrow wound was heavily, you know, added to with special effects, and it looked quite good. Even just simple set extension stuff, like Isildur and Galadriel's conversation on the deck of the ship. Just seeing the ocean and the sunrise right behind them, that looked so, so good. As a matter of fact, I don't think there was any bit of special effects in this episode that took me out of the moment or didn't look of like Hollywood movie level quality, so I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. And finally, the sound design. I still think it disappoints slightly. I don't think it's bad by any means. It just, as of yet, still doesn't pull me into the world of Lord of the Rings. It sounds good, but it doesn't sound right. I do think a particular highlight was the silence that they used to, you know, build up the battle at the village. And then the violins and all these string instruments kind of creeping in to make this very creepy atmospheric tone. And I also liked the sort of creepy atmospheric tone of the Adar monologue when he's talking about how Sauron, you know, tried and tried, but he could never achieve what I'm trying to achieve. Like, those were definitely highlight moments for me. But overall, I still feel a slight disappointment to it all. So I'm gonna have to go for an 8 out of 10. And that gives this episode the highest rated score of any episode for me on this season, with an 8.3 out of 10. This is much more in line with what I want from the show. I feel like they are moving in the right direction, which makes me excited. I think this season has the potential to end on a really, really high note. I still don't 100% feel like I'm in the, you know, the world of Lord of the Rings. I think they need to improve on that. But this does feel like a step in the right direction and is by far my favorite episode of the season. So I'm excited for that next one. How on earth did Galadriel and these other people survive? And that's it.